You're on.
We begin our deeper exploration of the science behind chanting by looking at what brings us most. We begin our deeper exploration of the science behind chanting by looking at what brings most of us to try it out. Although we are all different people, there is at least one thing which is common to us all. We are all searching for happiness. But what do we mean by happiness? Sensual pleasure may bring us happiness, but it can also bring us distress. The first bite of a delicious dessert is certainly enjoyable, but by the third helping, our bodies call out, "No more." As we demonstrated in the last segment, even if we are successful in all the material parts of our well-being, there is still something missing. Plus, for most people, success in all of the ways we've been talking about remains elusive. Even when everything else is going well, stress, depression, anxiety, and other forms of mental ill-being are all too common. Is a fractured, incomplete well-being inevitable? Or is there a way to find true happiness, which is unaffected by the world around us, or even our own body and mind? The Bhagavad Gita describes 3 kinds of happiness, according to 3 different qualities or modes of nature. This is what it says. That which in the beginning may be just like poison, but at the end is just like nectar, and which awakens one to self-realization, is said to be happiness in the mode of goodness. That happiness which is derived from contact of the senses with their objects and which appears like nectar at first but poison at the end is said to be in the nature of passion. And that happiness which is blind to self-realization, which is delusion from beginning to end, and which arises from sleep, laziness, and illusion, is said to be of nature of ignorance. Here we find a clear description of what true happiness is. Where true happiness lies, in self-realization. In other words, it is in finding the source of happiness within ourselves. Pursuing happiness through our senses may be enjoyable now, but in the end, suffering is inevitable. This happiness in passion, in Sanskrit, okay. This is happiness in passion. In fact, much of so-called happiness derived from sensual pleasure is simply pain in disguise, based on delusion or happiness in ignorance. In Sanskrit, tamas. There must be a better way. The Gita describes happiness in goodness, or in Sanskrit, sattva. Finding this happiness may be difficult, like poison in the beginning, as it requires us to turn away from much of our material outlook on life. But in the end, we achieve a truly sustainable happiness, the nectar. In any case, it appears that so much of our suffering and happiness come from things beyond our control, like our environment, our bodies, and other people. I want to speak of death, which brings an end to all of our earthly plans for finding happiness, no matter how successful. Then there's the problem of ignorance. Though for some, ignorance is bliss, for most of us there are big questions about life and its meaning and purpose that, when left unanswered, create emptiness in our hearts. The path of chanting and bhakti yoga is designed to come to a complete answer for all of the real problems in our life. In the next topic, we'll go further down this path, looking at the first key, who am I?